Hello, it is I, Brandon the Starseed. I am back. It has been a while. I have been busy. Work, like part of it, work is busy, and my brain got all crazy with work. And then, like, I was out of town for a little while, and I thought I was going to make videos while I was out of town, but it turned out that like my schedule was like back to back to back to back doing things, so I didn't really have time to do that. And then I thought when I got back things would calm down, but it hasn't. It was calm, like I think a couple of weekends ago I almost did one, but then it was pouring rain, and I couldn't find a place to do it where it was dry, and I didn't want to do it indoors, so whatever, I'm here. I'm back. Hello, how are you? I don't know about y'all, but it's been crazy. It seems like as 2019 is winding to an end, things are getting weird, chaotic maybe. Not like bad chaotic, but like busy. Like things are kind of compounding, like stacking on top of each other. So it's not as simple or linear as things were before. Maybe, I don't know. It just feels that way. Maybe it's like the way things are, big ending, end of a decade, 2020, hey, that's cool. That's cool, I guess. I didn't really have a specific topic to talk about today, but I did want to talk about something specifically. So, what I've learned, one thing that I've been focusing on lately, is that you have to understand who you are as at a core, and then work with that in anything, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, whatever. I have talked about this before in other videos. We have discussed this, but it's that simple concept that if you understand who you are, like what your focus is, like what your focus primarily is, and you focus on that, you work with that, then you can't really regret what happens. Like, you can't look back and think, if only I had done this or this. How would you have done these other things? If you were acting in line with your true self, you could have only done whatever it was that you did. I don't know if that makes sense. Basically, once you're in kind of like that like understanding of who you are, the actions that you take are the only actions that you could take based on who you are. Like, even if you 10 years later you grow and you learn and you become this more mature person, but you still go back in time and you'd still do the same thing, because it wasn't maturity or growth that caused you to make some of the choices that you made, but it was actually just honestly being in alignment with your soul, like doing what is naturally what you as a soul would do. I don't know, it's a really existential concept, because for me it explains a lot of my past. I go back and I think of things, and instead of feeling guilty or feeling bad about like things I did do or didn't do, I can reframe them and think, okay, the things that I did that were in accordance with me as a soul, the things that were in alignment with how I think or how I feel, I can't regret those things. The things that were out of alignment, the things where I was trying to do something to please other people, or because I thought other people expected me to do a thing, but it wasn't in alignment with how I truly felt. In other words, it didn't feel like the natural thing for me to do, but because of other people involved, I did it. Those tend to be the things I regret the most. Think about that. So if there's life situations where you're doing a thing more because of other people's expectations of you doing this thing, or your belief that these other people have expectations of you doing this thing, and not so much because you would be doing it no matter what, those are not necessarily the best things to do. And it's that way about everything. Like, that's the secret there. You have to really get to the core intention of like, why am I doing this thing? Why do I care about this topic? Why am I focusing on this? Why am I watching this show? Why am I listening to this band? How much of those things are because that's who I am, that's what I do, that's what I like to do, that's me? And how much of it is because these other people do this, or because these other people think this is cool, or because I thought this would make me look cooler to the... Think about it. There's a point here. I haven't quite found it, but you guys can find it. Shout out. New microphone. It's all puffy. Hang on, no, puffy. Puffy microphone. This is supposed to help with audio and background noise, because my wife has watched many of these videos and cannot stand all of the background noise and clicking and sounds, all of that stuff. So this is supposed to help. I have done a few tests and it did seem to be a much clearer audio. It's not really that windy today, so it's not really putting it to the test, you know? But there'll be a day where it will be windy and this will be put to the test. I think the audio should be clear either way, though, because this is like a good microphone. Like, it's got some little bag and everything. Like, I know. it's fancy. So yeah, think about all the things that you do. Think about all the opinions that you carry. Think about all the judgments that you cast upon other people. Think about the judgments you cast upon yourself, and how much of that is from you and how much of that is from other people, whether they programmed you or whether you are trying to, fit in with people, or the opposite. You're specifically doing a thing to rebel against a person, and you're doing a thing because you want them to notice. I don't know, whatever. Point is, we do things for lots of reasons that aren't always necessarily in alignment with who we are. Now, I'm not saying that every action of your life 100% is always in alignment with who you are. That is a fairy tale. That is not going to happen. We all are going to have actions in our lives that is not in alignment with who we are. This is called compromise and, life. But choice. When you're presented with choice, if you can choose to do things more in alignment with who you are, more of those things will come your way. If you continually choose to do things that are out of alignment with who you are, for whatever reason, more of those types of choices will be presented to you and more of that lifestyle will happen. It doesn't seem like it's that big of a difference, honestly, from the point of view of the person living it. But trust me, very big difference as far as when you look back on your life and you're thinking back to how you're perceiving your reality. And I guess you could just wait till later when you're older and then you can figure this out, and that way you could just reframe your whole life so that you don't have to feel guilty about all the shitty things you did. That's one way to think about it. It's probably why a lot of people I know find spirituality when they're in their late 40s or later. It's cute, actually. My point, though, is it doesn't matter when you find the spirituality. It doesn't matter how you focus on it. It doesn't matter what your God is or what your primary goal is. At the end of the day, just try to find a way to understand who you are. If you can figure that one thing out before you die, that will be amazing. Because there's people that literally can't figure that shit out because they're so caught up in who they think they are or who others think they are, that they don't actually really deeply look at who they are. Think about it. This might not resonate with some of you. There's only a few people that watch these, who am I kidding? But maybe one person who's watching this will be like, oh, maybe. And maybe nobody. Maybe this is just for me to talk about because I work this stuff out in my own head, but when I talk through it, I seem to understand it better. It's like I hear it all and I'm like, oh yeah, it all makes sense, right? But then when I say the words, I'm like, oh no, that actually does make sense. Okay, there's something there. And actually, just saying all of this right now has made me realize this video is more for me. I might not even post it, because this is definitely more, I need to hear myself say this. See, the bigger thing is that I have an issue that I'm working through, and that I'm realizing that certain people that I've intentionally kept in my circle are toxic to me, and I don't necessarily know what to do about this. At first I thought patience and give it time and these people will become less toxic, or I'll become more tolerant to the toxicity. Yeah, but at this point I have real life problems happening in other areas that are deriving too much of my attention and energy, that I can't have toxic people in my circle. Hey, wind. Ooh, good. Testing it. Nice. So I'm debating, what do I do? Because on a core level, I don't typically... I put up with things. That's one way of saying it. I tolerate things. I'm open-minded to things. I'm generally, I will overlook things, and I will try to kind of be flexible and work through things. But on a core level, when I've given up on a person, when I've realized that I don't gain anything from the connection, I'm done. I can't turn it back on. I can't make that change. I can't just decide, oh, now I want to. No. As soon as I come to a realization, whether it's in like a video game, or whether it's like a movie or a TV show or a friendship, where I realize, hey, wait, I don't like this. This is toxic. This isn't. There was so many TV shows where I've watched a few episodes and I just like, I can't. The energy that it's pulling from me, the feelings and emotions that I'm getting from this is not helping me. It's not what I want. It's like, if I'm going to go to the buffet, I'm not going to keep ordering the one thing, or I'm not going to keep picking the one thing that I don't like, you know? Like, I'm going to go straight for the dessert. Who we're kidding? Come on. If anybody knows me, I'm going to go straight for the dessert. I'm going to have Coke. I'm going to have dessert. Soda and dessert, that's life, okay? All that other stuff's just filler. But my point is, I am working through something. I don't really know. I'm not the kind of person who can like cleanly end things with people. I either go ghost completely and just don't talk to people, which is easy because most people kind of go their own direction and eventually they just stop talking to me and I just don't pull them back in, which is kind of what I'm probably going to do on this one. But sometimes I'm more proactive and I actually end things in a way where I give people like a lecture about why I'm ending it. I don't really want to do it this time because I honestly don't know. Like, you know, there's just a day sometimes when you wake up and you reevaluate all your relationships and there's just sometimes you have a moment where you're like, wait a second, one of these things is not like the other, you know? Like, this person, oh, cool, I talked to them, I feel like this. Hey, cool. This person, okay, I talked to them, I feel like this. This person, I talked to them, I feel like this. Hey, this is a pattern here, cool. And then this person, I talked to them and I feel, one of these things does not fit. So when you have that in your life, it's an interesting moment to kind of realize, what do you do? So I'm working through that. I don't really have the best advice on that, honestly. Like, I'm not going to lecture somebody about like, because this isn't a them issue. Yeah, other people might be toxic, but maybe not to other people. Like, I'm toxic to people. Other people might be toxic to me. I don't know how to explain it. There's no like what works for one works for everyone kind of a thing. And it's like, so it's like, just because I have an issue with a person doesn't mean that person has the issue. I have the issue. So it's like, I don't want other people to change to try to fit in with, I don't know how to explain that. Sometimes it's better to just let things go. People grow up, people change. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes people don't grow up, sometimes people don't change. Maybe that's the problem. Is that sometimes people do and sometimes other people don't, and there's like a disconnect. That's the real issue, is that a lot of the people I'm communicating with have been having this year of progression and growth, but not everybody. Some people just like to live a patterned existence, and I understand it. I've lived it for years. I understand it, but I just can't be exposed to it, you know? That's sad. Oh well. Okay, well that was fun. I hope you all enjoy this strange random video that went in random places and is completely weird. Try to find out who you are and understand you as a core, and then it'll be easier to move from that direction. That's the moral of the story. Try that. It's going to take time. It's going to take honest self-reflection. There are moments where I do things and I want to think, oh, this is because my dad, programmed something in me when I was a kid. This is because my mom programmed something. This is because my grandparents made me. Sometimes it's just me, and I'm like, no. That's just a bad habit that I picked up over a long period of time. I could easily change that, So sometimes you have to be brutally honest with yourself. You can't always blame other people for everything you do. That's for sure. In fact, 99% of the things you do are actually your choice. You might not realize it, you might not see the choices that you're making, but 99% of the things you do are in some type of choices involved. It's like a choose your own adventure. Every moment of your life is not just completely one page after the next. You have an awful lot of moments where you can choose to go in different directions. And if you add those up throughout the day, that tells you a lot about you as a character. Think about that. Okay, I go now. I will try to do more of these, honestly. I will. I honestly will. I swear I will. This microphone has been bought and paid for, and it's an investment, so therefore I have to continue doing these. I don't make any money off of these videos, keep in mind. This is completely free. It's just, I don't monetize. But there's like this spiritual energy that comes from these videos. Occasionally something will click and they'll communicate with me or reach out to me and they'll talk to me about some of the topics, and I like that. And even if like that doesn't happen for a year, I mean, there's a video I made 2 or 3 years ago that like people just now, like somebody watched and had a conversation with me about, and I like that, you know? So it's like I'm planting the seeds for future conversations, because maybe in the future I'm going to go off the rails and I'm going to need other people like you guys watching this to find me and remind me of all this stuff that I've said to get me back on track. Who knows, you know? Who knows? Okay, this is getting long. I go now. Bye-bye.